Hello there, hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos. I'm just going to be updating you on the current team news for the Southampton Manchester United game, which is currently a 3 o'clock kickoff. We've had one result today already. Tottenham earlier on convincingly beating West Ham by 3 goals to 2. So that game was a 5 goal thriller. And Tottenham have not really got a good record against West Ham, but I think this season, Tottenham have been very consistent last couple of seasons. They've got they've got a fantastic team. They've got one of the best strikers, in the Premier League, and also scored twice today. Did Harry Kane? That puts it now to 105 goals all in all now for Tottenham, and he did score his 100th goal against Everton. But away from home for this season, for Tottenham, they've won every single. They've been very consistent away from home. It's just that Tottenham at Wembley, just seem to be struggling at Wembley. But apart from that, Tottenham are playing really well. They're getting decent results on the road. They've won at Newcastle, they've won at Everton, they've won at West Ham today. And it only seems to be for Tottenham, it's just how they're playing at Wembley, because they're just not being very consistent at Wembley. But apart from that, Tottenham are doing very well. And Kane scoring today. I think Christian Eriksen scored as well for Tottenham. So they're playing very well away from home at Tottenham this season. And they're still waiting, obviously, for the new stadium to get built in Tottenham Hotspur. But Harry Kane now, if he's going to become available in the transfer market, he's going to be worth at least, £100 million, at least Harry Kane. But Pochettino's clarified he's not intentionally leaving, even if he doesn't gain any silverware with Tottenham, Harry Kane, because he may want to gain silverware with Tottenham. They've been unlucky in the last couple of seasons that they haven't took the league, if I am going to be quite honest with you, of Tottenham Hotspur. But Pochettino said he loves the club, he respects the club, and he's made it very clear that he does want to play for Tottenham Hotspur. But they have won by 3 goals to 2. West Ham have had a really bad start to the campaign. They've got Hernandez there, who did get his name on the score sheet for them today. But they've had a lacklustre start to the campaign of West Ham. They've had a couple of decent results, but they have had a bad start to the campaign, just like Crystal Palace have as well. But Tottenham in recent years have not had a good record at all against West Ham as well. But this is the going into the games at 3 o'clock. The team news has been confirmed for Manchester United. Obviously, we know Jose Mourinho had been he's rotated the squad differently. He'd made several changes, from the Burton victory. Obviously, he's gone with a 4-2-3-1. He's gone with, as he has done mainly this season. He's stuck with that 4-2-3-1 formation mainly because we're looking very good. Obviously, he's gone with De Gea in goal, who was rested for the Burton game. Obviously, he made 9 changes in the Burton game, but he'd have made several changes for today's game. He's gone with De Gea in goal. He's gone with Valencia at right back, who scored a fantastic goal against Everton. Lovely shot it was. That could be voted goal of the month. Who was also rested for the Burton game as well, and he's put Bailey and Jones back in as a centre back partnership, who have complemented each other fantastically well this season, apart from 2 defensive errors at Stoke. He's been playing Smalling Lindelof in the competitions. He played him in Real Madrid in the Super Cup. He played Lindelof and Smalling against Basel, and played Lindelof and Smalling in the Burton game. But apart from that, he is stuck with Bailey and Jones in the league. And Ashley Young, very good to see him again. Ashley Young, I did think it did confirm that Luke Shaw would not be participating. Against his old club. He did. It was good to see, Luke Shaw in action, against Burton Albion. It was good to see him making his first appearance for a while, because we know Luke Shaw's been injured for a while, but he did confirm he wouldn't be participating today. Luke Shaw, he received a lot of criticism off Mourinho last season as well, due to his performances. And we know he's been injury prone, but he's still on the inside. We'll give him another chance. He's got under 2 years left on his contract as Luke Shaw. See what happens. But Ashley Young, we know he played in the Everton game. He also played in the Basel game as well. In the Basel game, I thought he played fantastically well, did Ashley Young. I thought he was creating. I thought he was providing. Also got an assist. I thought he was crossing. His crossing was absolutely spot on as well as Ashley Young. So he made yeah. So he actually made a fantastic impact, the Ashley. I didn't think he did too bad against Everton as well. The ex-Watford and the ex-Aston Villa playing it, and we're keen that Man United are going to be signing him another 1-year extension. Ashley Young, someone else could have got that left back. Ashley Young did play at the right back against Basel, and then he rotated to the left-hand side against Burton, against Basel, and then what else? He rotated to the left against he was on the right against, was it Basel? Yes, and then against Everton he rotated on the left hand side. He didn't participate in the Burton game as well, but Ashton I thought had a good game, against Everton. I thought he had a good game against Basel as well. But anyone could have really got that left back position, and maybe I thought Blind may have got that left back over Ashley Young, considering he's been participating for the majority so far this season at that left back position, and he's looked very, very good. But Jose Mourinho's decided to put Ashley Young there. And, also in the mid, Nemanja Matic, he was rested for the Burton game as well. He's back in action. Good to see him back in action. As I did say, I think I actually did get my corrections right, did I? I'm sure my prediction was what's actually on here. I may be wrong, but I might be actually fully correct. Or maybe apart from the Ashley Young, I might have been correct on my prediction. But anyway, in the Man U matches, good to see him, back in action. I think he's played fantastically well this season. Good at breaking up the play. Good at pressurising defenders. Good at threading balls through his Nemanja Matic. And I'm a big fan of Nemanja Matic. And he's got a good pedigree because, he proved it with Chelsea. Yeah, he had to get his name on the score sheet, but I'd love to see Matic get his name on the score sheet. He's added Fellaini in the mix with Nemanja Matic, so he's gone with a 4-2-3-1. You may have thought he may have gone with a 4-3-3, put three in the midfield, Matic, Herrera and Fellaini, but he's just gone with Matic and Fellaini. Herrera, hasn't participated much this season. He's only participated in a couple of games, but we're in the process of signing him a new deal with Manchester United and Herrera, because Barcelona were interested in during the summer. The player that's been at Old Trafford now 4 seasons, I think. Won quite a few honours with us as well, but we could sign him a new deal as well. We've got Marion Fellaini, in the midfield with Nemanja Matic. Fellaini, I've never been, a huge fan since his arrival when we bought him for £27.5 million. But Fellaini, I think, was I thought he played fantastically well against Basel, when he came on as a substitute for Paul Pogba. That is unclear when Paul Pogba is going to recover from his given injury. That's very, very unclear. There were some press reports actually saying that Paul Pogba could be out for 12 weeks. I don't think the club have fully announced how long he could be out for. Jose Mourinho currently dispelled the myth that he could be unavailable for 12 weeks. Said he doesn't know if it's 12 days or 12 weeks, which is 3 months. But he did confirm he'd been privately trained with a personal trainer. Jose Mourinho wasn't satisfied with him ignoring the medical staff and going against the club's advice about Paul Pogba, but he was the captain in the Basel game, and then it got given to Ashley Young, obviously, because he come off in the 19th minute due to his hamstring injury. He's one of our most essential midfielders, is Paul Pogba, as we all know. But now Fellaini could be first choice now, especially for the time being now that Paul Pogba is currently out for the team. And he did suffer an injury last season. Paul Pogba suffered a few injuries, but he recovered after 3 games in the process. He scored a couple of goals and he's provided a few assists this season as Paul Pogba. Yeah, it's Marion Fellaini, Man U match in midfield. Marion Fellaini, hasn't really started much games this season. He's come on off the bench a couple of times to get his name on the score sheet. He did come off in the Leicester game and got his name on the score sheet. He scored against Valerenga in pre-season and he got his name on the score sheet against Basel as well, did Marion Fellaini. But I thought he put a massive impact in the Basel game. I thought he was creating. I thought he was providing very, very well, was Marion Fellaini. And, very, very good. And he played well in Europa League final last season. I said that's probably one of the best games he's had in a Manchester United shirt. But since he's been coming on as a substitute, I think Fellaini's been making progression this season. He was a lacklustre last season. He made 28 starts. He made 28 starts and only scored 1 goal. But this season, he has scored 2, coming off the bench twice and scored 2 goals as Marion Fellaini. So that's very, very good to see. And Man United said he's still in talks of signing him a new deal. The club are still keen on only signing him a 1-year extension, but I think Fellaini'd want more than that. Mourinho, he said he's a very essential player. He said he's a key member of the squad, so Jose Mourinho does praise and admire Fellaini. Initially, he'd agreed personal terms with Galatasaray early on in the window. In August, but come to a conclusion as Jose Mourinho blocked the move, and also Juventus had showed an interest in Marion Fellaini as well. But since we've had Pogba out, he's one of our most central mids, but we've still looked pretty decent, without Paul Pogba. But Fellaini is now coming to an end of his deal, but I think Man United are going to sign him a new deal in the process. And now you've got Marcus Rashford on the left as well. You know, another fantastic player. You know, growing, developing into his game. He was very, very good last season as Marcus Rashford. He's playing on the left today. He was very, very good. You know, after Zlatan Ibrahimovic's injury last season, it was good to see. You know, he performed fantastically well. You know, towards the latter stage of last season, did Marcus Rashford. Scored 11 goals last season, and in the process, he's already scored 5 goals now for Manchester United in all competitions, and getting 2 goals against Burton the Wednesday night. That was very, very good to see as well. Lovely 2 goals that Rashford scored. You know, the first one was fantastic. You know, Carrick, lovely little layoff from Lingard, who I thought had a fantastic game as well. He was very, very good in the attacking third of the pitch in our pre-season as well. Was Jesse Lingard. So when he's played, you know, he's performed fantastically well. He's good at providing as well as Lingard. But and the second goal was a lovely goal from Rashford, you know, square pass from Blind, a lovely turn by Rashford, 25 yards out, comes off the post and goes in. That was absolutely sublime goal. And this, you know, with the quality of Rashford, you know, young age prospect, he's going to be worth at least now 100 million in January at least. But obviously Man United are not going to be put him for sale, but he would be worth now at least £100 million, you know, the way that Marcus Rashford is performing. And we've seen this season, you know, Martial and Rashford have been doing their trend, you know, coming off the bench and getting a name on the score sheet. Rashford coming off the bench and getting his name on the score sheet. Martial coming off the bench and getting his name on the score sheet, as we've seen this season. And that was his first time actually against Burton that Martial and Rashford had played on the pitch together, because they've been obviously coming on and off as substitutes this season as well. So yeah, love Marcus Rashford, fantastic genuine pace, causes defenders all sorts of problems, so he is on the left. You've got Mkhitaryan in the middle, as I said, who's played very, very well this season. He's very, very good at providing assists. He can play on the right, as I said, he's in that number 10 role, but I think that's where he performs best in that number 10 role. There's Mkhitaryan, and then you've got Mata on the right-hand side as well, who I thought also played well against Burton. He could have got his name on the score sheet. He had a couple of these chances, had an header saved. Lovely piece of style of play from Mata. Nutmeg defender, and also hit the post in the Burton game. And Mata was injured, as we know, last season for quite a while, so we did miss him a little bit. But I think he's been good since he's arrived at Manchester United. Is Mata, because he can also play in that number 10 role as well. But Mkhitaryan's in that number 10 role. And last but not least, you have got Romelu Lukaku up front, who was also rested for the Burton game as well. So he has made changes into the team. Romelu Lukaku was, I think now he's scored 6 or 7 goals now in all competitions for Manchester United this season. Very, very good player. And I think even when he comes an isolated figure, I still think Romelu Lukaku is a very, very good player. And even if you put Rashford and Lukaku in a different formation with a partnership, it's even better. Rashford and Lukaku are very, very good when they are together as a partnership. But Romelu Lukaku up front, as usual, on his own. Yeah, so Romelu Lukaku was the signing of the summer for me. He scored now 90 Premier League goals as Romelu Lukaku now. Is it 90 Premier League goals? Yes, I think it is 90 Premier League goals. So he's only 10 away from scoring a century of goals in the Premier League. He's Romelu Lukaku. So that's the team who's confirmed. You've got De Gea, 43, you've got De Gea, Valencia, Bailey Jones, Ashley Young, Fellaini, Matic, Rashford, Mkhitaryan, Mata, and Romelu Lukaku. I'm not going to go too much Southampton team. I'm surprised Van Dijk isn't starting for Southampton. I'm surprised he's not going to be starting for Southampton. There were talks that he could start. Obviously, we know Liverpool were heavily into him during the window. We know he's injury prone. We know Van Dijk's been injured since January. I do think he's recovered now, if I am pretty sure, for Van Dijk. Yes, he's on the bench for Southampton, is Virgil van Dijk. I do really, really like him. Southampton but were reluctant and resisted to offload the player. Liverpool were actually convinced they could have got a deal wrapped up, before the end of the window for £70 million, because he'd been spotted in Liverpool John Lennon's airport. A few weeks before that, he'd been spotted in London as well, because Chelsea had an interest in Van Dijk, but Liverpool had an interest back in June due to an illegal approach as well for the player. Southampton purchased him for £12 million off Celtic. He's one player of the season as well with Southampton's Virgil Van Dijk as well. He'd been training on his own before. He did want to make the move, but he's now back, confirmed he's back with the rest of the Southampton squad as well. So should be easy 3 points today, as I said. Southampton not in the best of form. They did beat Crystal Palace last time out. We've got a decent record against Southampton. We were pretty poor against them under the Van Gaal era, but I presume Manchester United are going to comfortably win this game. And as I did say in my predictions, it was going to end 2-0 to Manchester United. And we are 10 minutes away from a kick-off in the game. We're only 10 minutes away from kick-off in the game, so I just wanted to update you on the team news. You got Manchester City Palace again. Manchester City are going to absolutely, I think they're going to win 4-0 as a stand prediction. You know, they've got the likes of Aguero's hitting form. They've got the likes of Sané that's doing well. They've got the likes of Raheem Sterling that's doing well. He's had a fantastic start to the season for City as well. Aguero, in one of the best strikers in the world. He's in the top 5 at least, is Aguero. The honours he's won with City, the honours he's won with Atletico Madrid when he used to be there. So for me and Palace, you know, very poor side. They've obviously got Roy Hodgson, which a lot of Palace fans were satisfied about that, you know, considering his age. He isn't really that much of a good manager, as he's proven in the past. But Southampton have yet to score a goal this season in the Premier League, and that has they've lost all the games in the league and they have not scored a goal. So that has that's got to make history as well. And Palace are really struggling. They've got City now. They've got us next week. So you could tip maybe Palace to get relegated as well. So yeah, you've got Stoke, Chelsea. For me, it's going to be, I'd say Chelsea win. You know, considering Chelsea playing well. You know, they've got Morata in form. Morata's in form, and they've got, you know, spent quite a bit of money in the August window. Conte is a very good manager, and we know in recent years, you know, it's been actually silly. Chelsea have sat to a majority of managers that have actually gained silverware with them. It does sound a bit silly. But for me, Chelsea are going to win this, you know, considering the form they're in. Stoke, you know, very good at home. They are hard to beat, and they did get quite a few players in the window. But for me, I think Chelsea are going to be too strong in this, as I did say. What did I say? I said 2-0 Chelsea in my prediction. I'm not going to go through all the games. You've got Burnley, Huddersfield. You've got Everton, Bournemouth. Everton, for me, are going to win that 2-1, as I said in my prediction. Swansea, Watford, as I said in that game, not too... Swansea, Watford, I say maybe Watford win. And Leicester, Liverpool, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And Leicester did beat them in the Cup midweek as well in the process. So yeah, anyway, that's Man United, Southampton team news confirmed. As I did update you guys earlier on a bit of a transfer rumours as well. That was transfer rumours that was actually going on, you know, in the process. As I did update you. As I did update you about Dries Mertens from Napoli, apparently he did say, well, I think Arsenal may revive the interest in January or next summer for the player. It did reportedly say in the window Arsenal were actually interested in the current player, but it had all of a sudden it had come to a conclusion as the player did sign a new deal until 2020 with Napoli. He is 30 years of age, is the player. He's been at PSV in the past, he's now at Napoli, he's made 137 appearances, over a century of appearances now, and he's scored 56 goals for Napoli in the process in the Serie A. And this was reported in the Italian press, and he made his debut for Belgium in 2011, and since then he's made over 50 senior appearances for Belgium as well. He's won Belgium Footballer of the Year as well as a player. But apparently Arsenal were interested in the player, because obviously looking for alternative players for Alexis Sanchez, who looks like he's going to be going in January. And you know, as a player so far this season, he's made 5 appearances, he's scored 6 goals, he's provided 1 assist, and his shot accuracy is 79% as well. He's the players, and he scored 34 goals last season. He's scored 34 goals in 40 appearances as the player as well, and he's been at Napoli since 2013 as well as the play. But he's skillful, he's good in the air, he's good linked up the play. He's a very clinical player. He's this player. So apparently Arsenal were interested in the player as well in the process. And as I did update, you know, the Sanchez situation, I think Sanchez is definitely going to go. He's refused to sign a new deal with Arsenal, but he'll be free next summer, obviously, just like Ozil will be. But Sanchez is refused to sign a new deal. He will be free to go next summer, but I think Arsenal would rather cash him in on January rather than let him go free next summer. They could have cashed in him in on deadline day when City had offered 50 million that had been turned down, they'd offered 60 million that had been accepted, but obviously Arsenal couldn't find that replacement, and obviously they raised a lot of money for the departures of their alright for the departure of their players as well. It did say there's teams that are interested in Sanchez. You know, Man United have had a slight interest. You'll get him for cheap now because he's coming to an end of his deal because he's been at Arsenal for 4 years. Apparently PSG could still get him, even though it did come to conclusion of their pursuit of him. He'd been spotted in Paris quite a few times because they invested a lot of money. It only comes to conclusion because apparently he was demanding £400,000 a week. PSG were not willing to pay this off, and he did confirm Sanchez had met up with the PSG officials early on in the window to try and get a deal finalised. For Alexis Sanchez, they're willing to offload Cavani, maybe willing to offload Edison Cavani to put Sanchez in the mix with Mbappe and Neymar as well. It did report Real Madrid were interested. Real Madrid had been in discussions with Sanchez's representatives as well about trying to get a deal finalised, but obviously it come to a conclusion as Benzema has just signed a new deal with Real Madrid as well. So yeah, and Sanchez reasoned up the ranks of underneath. He's won 3 FA Cups 4 seasons of Arsenal. He did turn £300,000 a week. He was demanding £400,000 a week. But I think he still may go to City, you know, because him and Pep Guardiola were fantastic together at Barcelona with Sanchez and Pep Guardiola. And he'd elevate to that higher level, would Alexis Sanchez, because he just basically said he wants Champions League football, does Alexis Sanchez. He scored 24 goals last season in the Premier League, and I think 30 in all competitions did Alexis Sanchez as well, but I think he will make the move in January. Obviously, there's been talks that Arsenal could still reopen discussions with Manchester City about Raheem Sterling and Sanchez doing a swap deal, Raheem Sterling to Arsenal, Sanchez to City, but didn't go along with this because City were not willing to offload Sterling as part of the deal. Sterling, who's had an impressive start to the campaign, you know, he's already made 4 appearances, scored 3 goals. Risen up the ranks of QPR, and City paid £49 million for him a couple of years ago as well, Raheem Sterling, but it comes to conclusion because City were reluctant and were resisted to offload Raheem Sterling. Arsenal were going to pay a mate-weight fee as well. Arsenal would have gone along with it. The stance would have been softened regarding Sanchez because the Arsenal board and Wenger have been ruthless regarding Sanchez over the majority of the August window, and Wenger clarified he will stay at Arsenal and he will see out his current deal, and this is what Wenger had said early on in the August window as well. In the process of it, Arsenal also have other targets. You know, they've got Juan Cuadrado as a possible target, who could come back to the Premier League. You know, he's at Juventus now. Chelsea had only had him there for 6 months, but now he's playing a key role. He's in an instrumental role for Juventus, and he's progressing well with Juventus as well. Won a couple of honours with Chelsea. He's won a couple of honours now with Juventus as well as the player in the process. So yeah, we will see what happens about that. And you've also got what's his name now? You've got Leon Goretzka from Schalke as well. Arsenal interested in him. Man United reportedly interested in Leon Goretzka as well. Schalke, who's risen up the ranks very, very well. You know, he's been there 4 years. He's played in the Schalke reserve team. He's now at Schalke. He's been there 4 years. I think he's nearly made a century appearances now, and he's scored 10 goals. He was joint top scorer in the Confederations Cup with Germany as well, so he was very, very good. He signed a 5-year professional deal in 2013 with Schalke, 5-year professional deal, and I think Schalke purchased him for just £3 or £4 million as well. He can play as a mid, he can play on each flank as well. The player, so he does look a promising player, does this Leon Goretzka from Schalke, but a few teams are interested in the player. What's been basically reported is that Bayern Munich had agreed a deal with him, come to a conclusion, they're still interested, but I think his preferred destination is either Bayern Munich or Barcelona in the process. I think Schalke are keen on offering him a 5-year deal, and he's coming to an end of his deal, is the player as well. So we are now 2 minutes away from the games today. Kickoff's coming up very, very soon in the process, guys, as I said. So you heard my predictions the other day. I just wanted to do this video, you know, to confirm the team news as well. And you've also got what we're going to say now. You've also got with the situation, now Diego Costa's now left Chelsea. Could this affect our pursuit of Antoine Griezmann? As I said, Diego Costa, who Chelsea purchased for 32 million pound for in 2014. Progressed well with Chelsea in the 3 years he's been there. He did confirm he hadn't played for Chelsea since the FA Cup final, and he's been in Brazil as well as Costa, so he hasn't played a game this season for Chelsea as well. All in all, for Chelsea Football Club, he made 120 appearances, he scored 59 goals and scored 20 goals last season, and won honours with Atletico Madrid before, won 2 Premier Leagues and League Cup with Chelsea as well. Diego Costa, but he confirmed the other day that it is prior to the medical, it is prior to the personal terms as well. But I think he's been allowed to go to Spain to discuss to complete the medical and discuss the personal terms as well. But we know he won't be arriving. It did say he was on his way to Spain, but obviously he can't complete his arrival till January. Because one, the transfer window is not open now, and two, Atletico Madrid have currently got a transfer ban. This is why we didn't get our pursuit of Antoine Griezmann in the process of that as well. This is why we didn't get the pursuit of him. So we'll still see what happens. Jose Mourinho's going to have plans for January. He spent over £300 million two transfer windows since he's joined the club. But we will see what happens. I still think Man United need another winger. It's good news Ibrahimovic coming back. What? Alright. It's good news that we've got Ibra back in December. That's very, very good news. It's good that Martial's going developing into his game, because he was poor last season, but I think he's doing fantastically well now. He's looking more distinctive in his play. He's providing, he's scoring more now, and he's already bagged 4 goals, I think, in all competitions this season. It's good to have two good young players that are progressing to that, elevating to that higher level. It's very, very good to see. We know we've still got Rojo out as well, but yeah, the game is now kicking off, so we'll be doing a review on the game. I don't think it's on live, but I'm going to try and stream the game. Anyway, guys, that's everything today. Jot your comments, likes below, and if you do consider subscribing, drop a like on the video as well, and press the subscribe button if you do consider it, and take it easy, and I'll see you on my next video, guys. Bye.